Now imagine if dhikr was something that wasn't just something you repeat mindlessly, but it's something that makes you think. The ayat are actually about an alarm sounding off.
I've been reading and listening Surah Al Mursalat many times, but I never had this tadabbur. And what struck me is especially the repetition in the surat and the repetition's meaning, which is this alarm, this urgency, where Allah is telling us that the situation is urgent and do something. I never had thought that this repetition would sound like an alarm for us, and this was really important to me.
These are going to be long and maybe even exhausting sessions, and we're going to try to do a thorough study, as much as I can do with my team, of Surah Al Mursalat. The angels have zero tolerance for disobedience to Allah. So when they see disobedience to Allah, words of kufr, injustice, killing, fasad on the earth, what do the angels want to do? They want to bring order back and kill all of the rebellious. But Allah is holding them back, and He's comparing holding them back like a horse that wants to stampede and the reins are being held back.
How this mulqiyati dhikra, how these reminders which are not talking, that's really, we are feeling them, that's the nature, the winds, the horses, how they are just remembering us, our Lord, Allah, and how He's so I would say generous, merciful with us, but also can be shadidul iqab.
When a thinking person contemplates the winds that can pull trees out of the ground, winds that can change the shapes of mountains, winds that can destroy entire cities, winds that can bring about tsunamis that drown an entire city, an entire civilization. When they think about the wind, تَمَسَّكَ بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَالْتَجَأَ إِلَىٰ إِعَانَةِ اللَّهِ, then such a person holds on to the remembrance of Allah and just wants to get the help of Allah. فَصَارَتْ تِلْكَ الرِّيَاحِ كَأَنَّهَا أَلْقَتِ الذِّكْرِ. It's as if these winds themselves dropped a dhikr on you.
What I really like to know about Surah Mursalat is the description of Jannah. I lost my father, may Allah reward him with Jannah. And when Ustaz Nouman Ali Khan describes Jannah, I already see myself with my father there. So yeah, I'm like, I can't put words in what I'm feeling right now.
There's a very close relationship between the winds and the angels. Allah says, فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ رِيحًا وَجُنُودًا لَمْ تَرَوْهَا in Surah Al-Ahzab. He says Allah sent against the enemy wind and armies you couldn't see. Who's the armies we couldn't see? The angels. So the angels and the winds are actually described as very close to each other. Interestingly, Angel Jibreel, also called Ruh al-Qudus, Ruh is related to Rih. The word Ruh itself is connected to Rih. So the invisibility of it, something you can't see but you know it's there. Something you can't see but you know is there. And that's why the parallel between the winds and the angels is a really remarkable thing. If you look at one star in the sky, it's not there right now. It was there several million, sometimes billions of years ago. It took that long for the light to get here. But it's not there anymore. It may have been dead. By the time we see the star may have already exploded. It may not even be there. We're looking at billions of years of history when we look at the stars. All the galaxies of the universe, all the stars, including the sun, are about to be smudged. Theoretically, what should happen to all of us? We should immediately be dead. But Allah is keeping all of us alive to watch. This is in other words, a situation is occurring which under any other circumstance would be immediate death. And Allah, despite us physically not being capable of withstanding what is happening, is going to keep us on life support. So go ahead, stay in your delusion. Stay inside this bubble that you want to stay. Your entire universe is being described not with the skies, with the angels, with the reminders, with contemplation, with prophet, and none of that. Your entire universe is just eating and enjoying. That's it. That's your universe. Stay in it. So with this kind of brief background, I want you to enter into the world of Surah Al Mursalat. Nowadays, the world is so close to major conflict in so many places, right? And when powers are thinking about war, they're thinking about assembling their military, then deployment strategy. What pathway in the water are they going to take to get the resources to where they need to go? How is the military going to get its supplies? Where are they going to airdrop the infantry? How are they going to get the tanks there? How are they going to get the battleships there? Where are the planes going to go? How are the planes going to refuel? All of these logistics they have to think about when they're going to go to war. Because war isn't just about dropping bombs and killing. War is actually about the supply line. And that's why you see in wars, people, the enemy destroys bridges, infrastructure, water supplies, etc., because if you run out of food and supplies, you're done. Doesn't matter how much you shoot. Eventually, you're going to need lunch and you're going to be done, right? So they cut off the supplies. Now, Allah describes His armies. His armies are the angels. His armies are the winds. Who's going to put a stop? What border control you're going to put on the wind? How are you going to stop this attack from coming? Where is it going to, and how tall and how low are you going to dig before you realize you're surrounded by Allah's army. The earth is Allah's army. The wind is Allah's army. The angels are Allah's armies. There's no escape. You're completely surrounded. There's no place you can go where you can escape Allah's armies. In fact, you're living inside the military base of Allah, the earth. You're inside the base, completely surrounded by His soldiers. So by using this imagery, Allah is actually describing His power to those who don't believe in it. Those are those that were questioning the message of Islam. It starts very aggressively. And if you think about the fact that this is an early surah, and this imagery is being used, is as if to say people who think they're very powerful don't realize what they're messing with. The wind. Just the winds. If I was just to let them go. And letting them go, this is important also for the Arabs, because the Arabs were obsessed with horses. They were obsessed with horses. Actually, I learned recently about ancient Arabs that sometimes they would choose their horse over their children. Yeah. And you said, they're disturbing people. Astaghfirullah, age of Jahiliyyah. Let me tell you something. They're out in the desert. It's burning hot. It's just me and my horse. Let's name him Francois. It's just me and my horse. The only reason he's alive is me, and the only reason I'm alive is him. Weeks go by. I feed him a little water, I drink a little water. He finds a well, we go to it. If there's somebody attacks, his run saves my life and his life. If we have to attack someone, he's the one that's galloping towards death. I have seen easy times with this horse. I've seen hard times with this horse. I've fallen asleep with this horse. I've woken up this horse. This horse got sick and I took care of it. I got sick. It fetched water for me. It is my buddy in war. It's my car. It's my luggage carrier. It's my servant. It's my best friend. When I'm alone in the desert for weeks and weeks and I'm going psycho, I start talking to the horse and the horse feels like it's talking to me. It becomes my Mr. Wilson. Right? So we're having all kinds of conversations, my horse and I. And by the way, the Arabs made a lot of poetry about the horse, and they talked to the horse. And the horse, and if it knew speech, mukallimi, right? لو عرف الكلام مكلمي. If it knew speech, it would speak to me. Right? It was talking. They would talk. They got into the feelings of their horse. They're like, we've been through a lot. My kid, I don't even know. But the horse, we've been through a lot together, man. So they had this attachment to the horse. And then when they find a horse that's wild in the desert, and they get up on that horse, and the horse lets them grab the rein. Ooh, they got an intimate relationship with this horse. And when Allah uses the imagery of this horse to describe, oh, you think this horse is loyal to you? It would run right into a spear for you, wouldn't it? And if you let go of this horse, it would go wild and attack. And the Arab's like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, tell me more. That's fire. He doesn't know he's hellfire, but has fire. Right? This imagery captured their imagination, and Allah is using this imagery of the horse and his loyalty and the companionship and how the horse is willing to die at just the letting go. And by the way, if you have a deep connection with your horse, if you've dealt with horses in your life, then you know horses can sense body language. You don't even have to tell them. They can sense a shift and they can turn. A good horseman, it's not even It just kind of, the horse, without even looking, can tell he wants me to turn right, he wants me to turn left. And an obedient horse, when you're walking with it and you're turning slightly, you will never feel the pull. It will just synchronize completely with you, unlike your child. Your child, like, you know, the horse doesn't do that. The horse moves with you. Why is that an important image? Because if that's, you understand absolute loyalty and connection to the master, that's what the horse represents to them, then you need to understand the winds and the angels have absolute loyalty and connection to Allah. And Allah will let that mane go. Right? So this is the image that's being projected. So the reason I said this interpretation can also include horses is because this was on their mind. And by the way, when they were thinking about horses, let me just fill you in. When did they let go of the mane of the horse and let it go wild? When they're about to raid a camp. They're about to attack a village. They're about to attack their enemy base. And when they attack that enemy base, the horse better go quick and run right through. Right? So they're going to do, and they're not going to go alone. They're going to take a few with them, and they're all going to take their best horses, and they're going to let go of the reins, and then the horse better what? Crush right through, and they better go together, right? فَوَسَطْنَا بِهِ جَمْعًا, which is here, فَالْعَاصِفَاتِ, well actually before, فَالْمُرْسَلَاتِ, remember Urf was together? They attack together, they pierce right through. And so even if the kafir may not be thinking about the wind, may not be thinking about the angels, the believer might think about these things. The kafir who's listening to these ayat might be thinking about the horse. And later he realized the horse was being used to make him think about the angels, to make him think about the winds. So you see, all three got connected. And by the way, what they all have in common is swift movement. And what they all also have in common is they go fast when the master wants them to, and they slow down when the master wants them to, isn't it? Because a great horse moves fast when you need it to, slows down when you need it to. The angels destroy when Allah wants them to, deliver rizq when Allah wants them to. But let's think of these ayat from the perspective of the disbeliever for a moment. Maybe he's thinking it's about the horse. And the horse is coming and is about to attack. The next ayah says, وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا, they spread out. The enemy formed shields, connected to each other, with their spears, waiting for the horse to attack. They've got a line. Now the horses were coming together, and what do? They spread out. Now the enemy is like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're going to come from the side now. We're open on the side. Spread out, spread out, spread out. When you spread out, you know what that is? فَالْفَارِقَاتِ فَرْقًا. They had to spread out to defend the horse from getting through. Right? And so this itself becomes the scene of a raid, of the attack of the horses. But this is not that different from the attack of the angels on Judgment Day, or the attack of the winds, you know, when a nation gets destroyed, or even on Judgment Day. So all three of these images are kind of being overlaid on top of each other. The seen is being used to make you think about the unseen. This world is making you think about the next world. That's the imagery of the Quran. That's how it captured the imagination, right? So now, عَصَفُوا فِي طَيْرَانِهِمْ كَمَا تَعْصِفُ الرِّيَاحِ. They say the angels moved violently, quickly, attacking in their movement the way the wind moves. وَالثَّانِي يَعْصِفُونَ بِرُوحِ الْكَافِرِ. They say they come and attack the ruh of the kafir. إِذْ أَبَادَهُ وَأَهْلَكَهُ. Asaf is also used for destruction, to kill. وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا. We're moving along, inshallah. وَالنَّشْرُ, the word nashr is the opposite of folding up. Unfolding or opening or unraveling is called nashr. That's why even nowadays for broadcast in Arabic they use the word nashr and idha'a, right? So nashrul akhbar, for example, right? Because the spreading of the news. The word nashr is very close to the word nathr in Arabic. Nathr and nashr are similar, spreading. And the opposite of nashr or nathr is shi'r or nazm. Why? Because in a poem, remember I told you about the musical notes, right? The words have to be very tight. But when somebody's writing prose, like an essay or an email, do they have to worry about the rhyming and the musical notes, or they just want to say, I hate you and I always hated you and just want you to know? Right? They just write what they write. And the words are spread. So that becomes nathr. When the words are tightened up, that becomes shi'r. And that becomes nazm, the tightening up. Anyway. So والنشر حقيقته ضد الطي ويكثر استعماله مجازا في الإظهار والإيضاح وفي الإخراج. It's used also for, nashr is also used when you make something clear. Because when you spread something out, you can see all the different parts. So things become clear. Right? So that's why the word nashr is used also for spreading news and things like that. So nashr is used for blowing of the winds. It's also used for opening something like al-manshur bin kutub al-sultan. When the king would write a letter, they would stamp it and seal it. So only the authorized people can open it. If it's open already, it's manshur. It's already been opened. The news is out, right? And one interesting thing about the word nashr is also it has the meaning of al-ihya. So an-nushur in Arabic is one of the yawmun, an-nushur is judgment day when we're going to be brought back to life, right? So when nashirati nashra could also mean, part of its meaning, the winds that bring life back. Because the winds bring rain and the dead earth comes back to life. Or the the angels deliver the baby into the womb of the mother, creating life. Right? When nashirati nashra. So they're creating life also. And perhaps on Judgment Day, the angels will actually come out and bring people out, back alive again. Right? Pull them out. Akhriju anfusakum. Right? Bring yourselves out. So when nashirati nashra. فَالنَّاشِرَاتُ إِذَا جُعِلَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ فَهُوَ نَشْرُهُمْ الْوَحْيِ. So one meaning is, if this is for the angels, then this is them spreading the revelation. أي تكرير نزولهم لذلك وكناية عن الوضوح. And this means that the revelation will keep coming, keep spreading, and it will make sure, it will be ensured that the revelation is clear. Because nushur has the meaning of clarity also. So when nashirati nashra suggests, according to this interpretation, that Allah will make sure that the Quran, the revelation that Allah has given, will remain clear for anyone who seeks its clarity. Now the thing is, there's a lot of, I don't understand the Quran is confusing, etc., nowadays, right? The thing is, anyone who seeks the clarity of this book, Allah will not deprive them. That's the promise of Allah. Doesn't matter if they're Hindu, atheist, agnost, Muslim, doesn't matter what. If they're seeking guidance from Allah and they're coming to His book, Allah will not deprive them. So long as they're sincere. That's all that Allah is asking. Otherwise, this will spread. And like, good soil, when the rain comes and the pollen comes, if it's good soil, life will come out of it. The same way when revelation comes and there's a good person, guidance will come out of it. Life will come. The spiritual life will come from them. وَإِذْ جُعِلَ الرِّيَحُ فَهُوَ نَشْرُ السَّحَابِ. And if it's used for winds, then this is the movement of the clouds. By the way, a surah related to this one is Adh-Dhariyat. And I would encourage you to watch the videos on Adh-Dhariyat, at least the opening. Because that was the first time I studied winds. Just winds. Because Allah is emphasizing winds so much, I don't know enough about the winds. So when I studied, it was fascinating what the winds do. And how much they spread. It says, وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا. I live in the United States. We have, the Pacific Ocean, we have the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is like Miami, Florida, etc., right? The sand on the beach in Florida is sand particles delivered from the sub-Saharan African desert across the ocean by the wind, and is sitting on the beach in Florida. Like, what does Allah deliver? Like, the entire economics, politics, life on this planet is actually sustained. Not just the ecosystem, but even human civilization is running dependent entirely on winds. Imagine tomorrow shipping stops. Just imagine for a moment shipping stops. Do you know what happens to the world if shipping stops? Starvation, war, death, famine, disease. All of that just because shipping is impossible. If the winds stop doing what Allah designed them to do, shipping will no longer happen. Flights will no longer happen. Air travel will cease to exist. Weather will not change. The weather formations. And if some place has a calm, low humidity, like nice breeze, it's actually creating air pressure somewhere else and there's a storm. So the fluctuating weather in the world and the temperatures in the world, all of that is a function of wind, all of it. And if the clouds stop moving around, you're not going to see green places anymore. You're not going to see places come to life anymore. The entire world just comes to a halt. Just if Allah shuts down one thing, the wind. Just one thing. We're not even saying He dries up the ocean. We're not saying He kills all the species, nothing. And these small things that Allah has created, that we think is nothing, right? Every one of them, the entire world depends on. What if Allah removed all the bees from the world? Just study that yourself. What if Allah removed the bees? What would happen to this planet? Subhanallah. One small thing. One, like you have this, I used to watch a lot of cartoons. You have these giant machines and you pull one thing and the whole thing falls apart. Allah has created this intricate system. Just mess with one thing. And then you see yourself come to your knees. وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا. Look at even فَالْفَارِقَاتِ فَرْقًا. I'll move quickly. I'll skip this. By the way, this is also a farq. I had to put the haircut in. This is in honor of the 80s. Al-afruq min ad-dika dhul arf. This is the farq is the parting in the middle. Here's another one that might. This is what the 80s look like now. Okay. ومن الرجال الذي ناصيته كأنها مفروقة. So the word farq is a parting. Of course, the parting happened in the story of Musa alayhi salam, right? فرقنا بكم البحر, right? The parting, right? That's the word farq. So the idea is fariqat is they separate. And the word farq is very close to the word falq, like Surah Al-Falaq. Farq and falq, they're close to each other. يقال اعتبارا بالانشقاق. Falq is used when something is cracked open. والفرق اعتبارا بالانفصال. When two things are separated from each other, then more separated, distance between them, that's actually called al-fariqat. وَفَرَقْتُ بَيْنَ الشَّيْئَيْنِ فَصَلْتُ بَيْنَهُمَا. When you did farq between two things, you created a separation between them, whether it's physical separation or it's intellectual or emotional kind of separation. I've separated between truth and falsehood. That's a farq. By the way, one of the names of the Quran, Al-Furqan, because it separates, creates a huge distance between truth and falsehood. They're not close enough for you to be confused with each other. They're far apart from each other. By the way, sometimes you can have two things that are separate, but they're too close to each other. So you could be confused with the naked eye. Are they one or are they two? Like two Lego pieces. But farq isn't that they're separate, they are kept apart. They're kept apart. So Allah is separating truth and falsehood far, far apart from each other, and there's no confusion. والفرق التمييز بين الأشياء فإذا كان وصفا للملائكة فهو صالح للفرق الحقيقي. So if this is for the angels, this could literally be something they do. The angels literally create separation. مثل تمييز أهل الجنة عن أهل النار. Like the separation of the people of Jannah and the people of fire. يوم الحساب. Like the separation of the body and the soul at the time of death. That's also a farq. Like the وتمييز الأمم المعذبة في الدنيا عن الذين نجاهم الله من العذاب. Like the nations that were destroyed from those who were saved from those nations. Farq between the followers of Lut alayhi salam and the nation. Farq between the followers of Nuh alayhi salam and the rest of the nation. مثل قوم نوح عن نوح وعاد عن هود وقوم لوط عن لوط وأهله عدا امرأته وصالح للفرق المجازي. So there's another, it's also good for figurative separation. وهو أنهم يأتون بالوحي الذي يفرق بين الحق والباطل وبين الإيمان والكفر. فالفارقات فرقا, they separate between right and wrong, truth and falsehood. By the way, what time is the adhan? So I'm clear. 42? Oh man, time ran out and I didn't get to do the tadabbur. We only did tafsir a little bit. أن الرياح تفرق بين أجزاء السحاب. Some more interpretations about the فالفارقات. The winds separate which places will get rain, which places will get a cloud, which places will not get a cloud. أن الله تعالى خرب بعض القرى بتسليط الرياح. Some nations were destroyed because the winds would never leave. Some other nations get destroyed because the wind never comes. Isn't it? The same wind that gives death also gives life. The first two ayat, winds were giving death. The next couple of ayat, winds are giving life. The first two ayat, angels are destroying. In the next couple of ayat, angels are giving rizq. What is Allah telling us? Allah has not created winds as a curse or a blessing. Allah has not created angels as a punisher or a mercy. No, that depends on you. That depends on you. How will you respond to this revelation? Perhaps the angels that are supposed to be a mercy will turn into punishment. The winds that are being held back will be unleashed. This is actually one of the key takeaways. Because there's only a few minutes, I'll focus on the takeaway instead of more slides now. I'll tell you some things I want you to at least take away with you for where we are up until now. Two sets of images were being given. One set of images is about death. وَالْمُرْسَلَاتِ عُرْفًا فَالْعَاصِفَاتِ عَصْفًا. That's destruction and death. That's violence. وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا فَالْفَارِقَاتِ فَرْقًا. That's about life and how life is distributed and spread and mercy is spread in this world. Now, if this is an imagery about wind, what I want you to understand is the concept of dependency. I keep saying there's a dependency, there's a dependency, there's a dependency. There is someone who says, I don't know, maybe there's a God. Maybe there's, Judgment Day, maybe. And even if there is, why should God judge me? I should be judging God. And it's not very far-fetched. People say these things, right? Why is God so, and they say these, these words about Allah very freely, very carefree, right? And I'll give you an analogy. Imagine a dog that you bought because you're Maliki, right? So you bought a dog and it's trying to bite you. You bought the dog and it's trying to bite. You're trying to feed it, it's trying to bite your hand. Every time you come near it, it gets aggressive. So what do? You decide to tie it up, leave it out in the sun. Every time you come out of the door, it starts coming at you, but it's being pulled by the leash, right? Still aggressive, still aggressive. You stop giving it water, food, everything. You just stop. It's sunny outside. Eventually it gets thirsty. It's sticking its tongue out. Even then it looks at you and goes, Arr! Couple more hours, maybe a whole day, maybe 24 hours. You're now sadistic. You're torturing this poor animal. You come out, this, basitun dhira'ayhi bil wasid. His paws are stuck out. Its mouth is on the ground. Its tongue is sticking out. And you take a little bit of water and you bring it close to its mouth. Now, normally, what would it do? Oh, bite your hand. What's it going to do now when it's almost at the verge of death? It quietly licks out of your hand. Quietly. And you bring some more, and it just... I haven't done this, by the way. I don't want to go to jail. But it's an analogy. What just happened? The dog felt powerful. Felt like nobody can control it. Until the dog ran out of some of its necessities. And then all of its rebellion disappeared along with its nutrition. It just went away. Human beings are acting so arrogant. So say whatever they want about God. Make fun of his judgment. Make fun of his authority. Question his wisdom. Any way they want. They don't want to take this conversation seriously at all. It's not something I think about, man. Let me be free. And every time the messenger comes with this message, they bark at him. They even want to bite at him. They want to attack him. And Allah says, if I was to just, you want to see attack? I'll show you attack. If I just let go of these winds a little bit, what did I do to the nation of Ad, the superpower of Ad? What ruins do you see? There are so many nations that are buried so deep beneath the sand. Even now, the Saudis have started doing some excavations. They're finding 7, 8, 10,000-year-old ruins now in the desert. How far down the earth did the winds keep blowing the sands that you being buried, 20 feet, 30 feet wasn't enough? 200, 300 feet under the ground, you're buried. Your civilization is buried. Subhanallah. وَالْمُؤْتَفِكَةَ أَهْوَى in Surah Al فَغَشَّاهَا مَا غَشَّا. Whatever was going to covered them. My goodness. All by the wind. This is Allah teaching us, teaching anyone who engages the Quran to never look at nature the same way again. Behind nature itself is a military. Nature is an army. And the only reason I'm feeling a nice breeze is because Allah hasn't let go of the mane. That's the only reason. So instead of coming out and saying, today's a nice day, I will go for a walk, the first thing that comes to my mind is, man, this is one of those days that's still وَالنَّاشِرَاتِ نَشْرًا فَالْفَارِقَاتِ فَرْقًا. And boy, is that a reminder. If one truly contemplated that, then they would see فَالْمُلْقِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا. They would see that. They would appreciate that. So yes, the ayat could refer to revelation, but the winds themselves are a powerful reminder. The thing for us to think about in this surah is Allah did not begin with the calm winds. He began with the violent winds, didn't he? And then he mentioned the calm winds. But we know the world The normal state of this planet, is it the violent wind or the calm wind? Can you imagine if the normal state was the violent wind and the exception was the calm? Like there was an announcement, tomorrow is going to be a nice day, be careful. There will be nothing left. There will be no life left. But ironically, Allah mentioned, counterintuitively, Allah mentioned the destructive power of winds first, the destructive element of the angels first, and then the normal. Why? Because Allah wants the attention of those who think the normal is given for granted. It's not normal. The only reason it's normal is that the foot is still on the brake. That's the only reason it's normal. It's not default, it's actually manually being stopped. The default is destruction. We think because the good weather is there all the time and the storm is there sometimes, that the default is good weather. Allah is re-engineering our worldview and saying actually the normal for this world, because of how much oppression happens in this world, is for the winds to do what they want to do to bring back order and obedience to Allah. And the kafir, to the wind, the kafir is better off dead because his dead body cannot disobey Allah. That's what the wind wants. But Allah says, no. Hold him back. Hold it back. Hold it back. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Don't. Every day Allah is stopping the wind. And it wants to kill.
Almost 300,000 souls have already been gifted a Bayyinah TV sponsorship, and the impact has been immense. But over 50,000 eager students who can't afford it are still waiting to begin their journey. You can help. Visit bayyinah.com/gift to share the gift of the Quran so that another soul can explore the depths of Allah's words.
Their access lasts a year, but its impact may last a lifetime. I want you to help me help them and give the gift of Bayyinah TV today.